Welcome, everyone. Today, we're going to explore a fascinating chapter of history with our presentation titled A Clash of Empires, the Persian Wars. Over the next few slides, we'll dive into the causes, key battles, and the impact of these historic conflicts. So let's get started and uncover the story behind one of the most dramatic moments in ancient history. So to start, let's look at Persia. It was a massive empire located to the east of Greece, and it played a significant role in shaping the history of the region. As Persia expanded its territory, it began to surround the Greek city-states that were located in Asia Minor, which is modern-day Turkey. This expansion was a key factor in the increasing tensions between Persia and Greece, ultimately leading to conflicts like the Persian Wars. Understanding Persia's size and reach helps us see why their interactions with Greece were so pivotal. It's really about how this powerful empire was growing and encroaching on Greek lands, setting the stage for the struggles that followed. Now, let's talk about what really set these events into motion. King Darius, seeking revenge, was determined to punish the Ionian Greeks for their rebellion. His response was fierce. He ordered the burning of the city of Sardis, which was a major Greek city and a symbol of their power. This act of aggression did not go unnoticed. Athens, which was a key supporter of the Ionian Greeks, decided to help them rebel against Persian rule. This help from Athens was a crucial turning point, because it turned a local conflict into a larger, more serious confrontation. And that, my friends, is how the spark for war was lit, by King Darius's desire for revenge and Athens's support for the rebels. These events are essential because they show how a series of actions and reactions can escalate into a full-scale conflict, setting the stage for the Persian Wars. Greeks felt undefeated, which gave them a real sense of confidence and pride going into these battles. The Athenians, in particular, managed to crush the Persians, turning the tide of the conflict with their bravery and strategic thinking. Darius, the Persian leader, landed at Marathon, a crucial location that would set the stage for one of the most famous battles in history. This is the Battle of Marathon, a turning point that showcased Greek resilience and tactical skill. It's a perfect example of how the Greeks defended their homeland and proved that even against a larger empire, they could stand their ground. This battle really highlights the importance of unity and strategic daring in shaping their legacy. So the story goes that he shouted victory after the battle, and then, tragically, he died. This moment is actually the origin of the race we now know as the Marathon. It's a powerful story that highlights both triumph and sacrifice. Phidippides, the brave messenger, ran about 26 miles from the battlefield to Athens to deliver the news of victory. Imagine the physical and mental strength it took to cover that distance in such a short time, just to bring good news to his city. This event is what inspired the creation of the marathon race, a race that tests endurance and determination, much like Phidippides' incredible run. It's a perfect example of how a historic moment can shape traditions that last thousands of years. And it ties into our overall theme of perseverance and the enduring human spirit. His goal was simple but terrifying, to conquer and capture all of Greece. This was a bold ambition, driven by a desire to expand his empire and show his strength. Fast forward about 20 years after the Battle of Marathon, and we see King Xerxes, the son of Darius, launching an enormous invasion. Not just by land, but also by sea, which made the threat even more formidable. This was an overwhelming force, designed to crush Greek resistance and bring the entire region under Persian control. It's important to understand that Xerxes didn't just aim for a quick victory. He wanted total conquest, which made him a significant threat to the Greek city-states. As we look at Xerxes' campaign, we see a moment where the Persian Empire strikes back with massive force, challenging the resilience of the Greeks and setting the stage for one of the most dramatic conflicts in ancient history. Now let's focus on a powerful moment during the Battle of Thermopylae. The phrase, "tell them in Lacedaemon," that here obedient to their words we lie, captures the Spartan resolve and sense of duty. It reflects how the Spartans, led by King Leonidas, chose to stand firm and fight to the very end, honoring their promises and their honor. For 3 days, they delayed the massive Persian army, giving vital time for the Greek allies to prepare and organize. This was no small feat, considering the sheer size of the Persian forces. The key point here is the strategic importance of holding that narrow pass at Thermopylae. It was a tactical advantage, allowing just a small force, 300 Spartans, to hold off a much larger enemy. And of course, the 300 Spartans symbolize bravery, discipline, and sacrifice. Their stand became a legendary example of fighting against overwhelming odds, which ties into the overall theme of courage and resilience in the face of adversity. So here's a remarkable point to consider. Around 200 Persian ships were sunk during this confrontation. That was a significant loss for them. The Persians found themselves trapped in the narrow straits, which made it difficult for their larger ships to maneuver effectively. Interestingly, the smaller Greek ships had a real advantage in these tight waters. Their size and agility allowed them to outmaneuver the bigger Persian vessels, giving the Greeks a crucial edge in the battle. And as a result of these tactical advantages, the Greeks achieved a notable victory at sea. This victory wasn't just about winning a single battle. It was a turning point that demonstrated how strategy and understanding the terrain could overcome numerical and material disadvantages. It's a perfect example of how control of the sea can influence the broader course of a conflict, tying into the overall theme of how tactical ingenuity can shape history. So, here we see the conclusion of the Persian Wars and the beginning of the decline of the Persian Empire. The key turning point was the Greek navy's victory, where they destroyed the last of the Persian fleet, effectively cutting off Persian naval power. On land, the Greeks showed incredible unity. About 100,000 of them came together to defeat the Persian army at Mycale. And then, perhaps the most famous moment, the Battle of Plataea in 479 BC, where the Greeks made their final stand. This victory was crucial because it marked the end of Persian attempts to conquer Greece. It also signaled a shift in power, with Greece emerging stronger and more confident. These battles not only shaped Greek history, but also set the stage for Greece's golden age of culture and democracy. So, here we see that the East versus West divide actually began quite early in history. It's a fundamental split that shaped many of the cultural and political differences we observe today. On the Western side, the Greeks played a crucial role. They valued freedom above all else, whether it was political freedom, intellectual freedom, or personal liberty. This emphasis on individual rights and democratic principles became a cornerstone of Western civilization. And it's important to recognize that because of these values, Western civilization was able to survive and flourish through centuries of change and challenge. The idea of freedom inspired innovation, governance, and the pursuit of knowledge. It's a key reason why Western societies developed institutions that promote individual rights and the rule of law. Now, why does all of this matter? Well, understanding this historical divide helps us appreciate the roots of many modern conflicts and cultural differences. It also sheds light on why certain values, like personal liberty and democratic governance, are so deeply ingrained in Western societies. Recognizing these differences is essential as we navigate a complex global landscape, especially given how these historical foundations continue to influence our world today. Art and intellect truly flourished during this remarkable period. The construction of the Parthenon stands as a symbol of Athens' artistic and architectural achievements. This iconic temple not only showcases incredible craftsmanship, but also reflects the cultural pride of the city. As Athens continues to develop, it becomes the cultural center of Greece, attracting thinkers, artists, and philosophers. This golden age is a time when creativity, learning, and innovation thrive, shaping Western civilization in profound ways. It's a perfect example of how a society's dedication to art and knowledge can lead to lasting legacy and influence. Now, let's talk about how the city-states used their wealth to build impressive temples, which showcase their devotion and power. Athens, in particular, became a true superpower during this time, not just through military strength, but also through cultural and political influence. To protect their interests and maintain their independence, the Greek city-states formed alliances, and one of the most notable was the Delian League. This alliance was essentially a collective security effort. Member city-states contributed money and resources to keep the Persians at bay and prevent any future invasions. The Delian League was a crucial step in uniting the Greeks against a common enemy, and it helped Athens emerge even stronger. So, in the bigger picture, these alliances and their wealth were not just about defense. They also fueled Athens' power, culture, and influence across the region.